This bulletin is brought to you by Good Morning Pihalia. Enjoy the warmth and indulge in the deliciousness.
Good morning, good morning.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think we all can agree that the 14th general elections was the most exciting one in Malaysian history. Both sides needed all the help they could get, with Pakatan Harapan pulling out the old guns that were once part of the establishment, from Dr. Mahathir Mohamad to Daim Zainuddin to Rafida Aziz. Former Prime Minister Najib Razak, who had the upper hand of being the incumbent at the time, appeared to be confident. But 5 days before the election, there was an unusual request in a letter that was sent by the Research Division of the Prime Minister's Office to the Central Intelligence Agency. You know, the one in Langley, the American CIA, the one in those Hollywood movies that have explosions and car chases. That one. Today, I will summarize the scoop for you. Now, Malaysiakini had cited a 3-page letter that was allegedly penned 5 days before GE14. It was no sub-story though. The research division in the Prime Minister's department, where the letter appears to be from, has been tutored to be an intelligence unit. It was addressed to the CIA Director Gina Haspel. It acknowledged that the polls would be the most tightly contested ever in national history, but it also said that Najib was expected to, quote, win the election adequately to form the next government. Further down came the appeal for support, quote, even if we win the election by a simple majority or just one seat. As we go deeper into the letter, what we found was a caution that if Najib were to lose power, the United States will lose an ally in Southeast Asia. It compared Najib to Mahathir, who was described as anti-West and anti-Semitic. The spotlight was then shifted to Malaysiakini and Sarawak Report, saying that the opposition was spreading negative narratives on political and socio-economic policies through these mediums, pinning the opposition for establishing NGOs like Bersih to provoke an uprising, comparing it to the Arab Spring. A spokesperson for Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad's administration confirmed that the letter was authentic but declined to comment. So we decided to ask the person who would know when you're talking to another country. We managed to get a hold of current Foreign Minister Saifuddin Abdullah yesterday and sat him down for an interview. It turns out that he had no knowledge of the letter. However, this was his response when we told Saifuddin about it and where it came from.
I don't think intelligence should include winning election. Intelligence should not have anything to do at all on this election. Election is about the will of the people. It is about democracy. If we have a strong department or institution on intelligence, and I must admit I have no privy to this kind of thing. This is the first time I am seeing it. But I'm not really surprised if it comes from the previous government. That's why I'm saying here, in no uncertain, in all clarity, that it is my belief, and I believe it is the belief of the current administration, that if at all we have an intelligence unit or department, which is not unusual for any government, but intelligence must be about securing and ensuring the security and the safety of the country and its people, and not about politics. I used to complain that the special branch seems to be working very hard to look after the workings of politicians. I think the new administration is reviewing that. Yeah, I mean, again, special branch. I mean, the police as a whole. I'm sure I can't speak on behalf of Tan Sri Muhyiddin, but I believe he is looking into this aspect where the main business of the police force is about home security and not about ensuring certain parties will win election.
And then there's someone else who claims that he has no idea about the letter either. former Prime Minister Najib Razak himself. Now today, Najib told Malaysiakini that he never issued any instruction to the research department to pen such a letter, but that it could have been sent in the interest of helping preserve the stability of the government in the event of a narrow victory. So now he's asking if the media is willing to reveal the document so that everyone, including himself, can have a better understanding. Najib, you can ask the research department yourself. You were their boss anyway. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. Malaysia's first multi-grains brand. The champion is Good Morning. There are just 30 days left on the clock for Pakatan Harapan's first 100 days in power, and we are yet to see any of their 10 promises for their first 100 days reach complete fulfillment. Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, perhaps bracing for impact, has said recently that the manifesto is, quote, not a Bible. However, opposition leader Ahmad Zahid Hamidi has some advice for the current administration.
Malah ada jawatan kuasa yang memantau pencapaian pelaksanaan manifesto berkenaan. Bukan hanya terdiri daripada kalangan kerajaan, tetapi beberapa badan bebas yang mengkaji dan juga melakukan pemantauan terhadap pelaksanaan manifesto itu. Oleh kerana blok pemakar adalah merupakan kumpulan yang melakukan check and balance. Tentunya kita harus melakukan pemantauan sebab itu janji mereka kepada rakyat. Oleh kerana kita diberikan mandat oleh rakyat, maka isu-isu rakyat, terutamanya janji-janji yang mahu dilaksanakan sesegera yang mungkin, selepas tengah malam, harus dilaksanakan. Begitu juga penurunan harga barangan. Biarpun GST diletakkan pada kadar zero rated, tidak ada barangan yang turun harga. Kerana itu adalah janji mereka. Begitu juga harga petrol mahu diturunkan. Akhirnya mereka mengatakan harga petrol mesti mengikut harga pasaran. Saya fikir kalau tidak boleh berjanji, jangan berjanji. Kalau tidak ditepati, itulah sifat kemunafikan yang saya sebutkan tadi. Dan di dalam hal inilah kita harus tahu bahawa apa yang sedang dihadapi oleh rakyat ialah kesusahan.
Now, speaking of the Harapan promises, the first promise on the list is the abolition of GST, or the Goods and Services Tax, which would be followed by the return of the Sales and Services Tax, or SST. Are you enjoying the tax holiday? I sure am. However, this won't last forever, and some parties are warning about the return of SST and that it could be worse than GST. Of course, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng isn't happy with that, but he admits that while it won't be as heavy, the rakyat will still feel it.
No, I'm not going to deny when you look at the efficiency and the formula worked out by GST compared to SST. There's no doubt that it's more efficient. I mean, this is acknowledged everywhere. And you cannot have the Minister of Finance denying what is the facts. But the problem is when the refunds, we call that the exemption, and then also the input taxes, the refunds are not paid on time. It compounds the GST tax in terms of increasing prices that affects the cost of living. So when you talk about how do you make the SST more transparent and efficient, because when it's more transparent, then it's easier to collect the rightful amount of taxes.
So make the best of the tax holiday while you can. Now that's the last story for today. 30 days on the clock left, no promises completely fulfilled. What do you think of Pakatan Harapan? If you want to check the progress of Pakatan Harapan's 10 promises for 100 days, check out our microsite at pages.malaysiakini.com/100days/en. That's 100 in numerals. Right there on your screen, you can see it too. You should be able to see that on your screen now. Got something to add? Put it in the comments or hit me up on Twitter. Hit like, follow, subscribe, and share this video. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching.